So this is my morning plant products presentation for Bio 307. The first thing I use in the morning are my sheets. So the Jersey sheets on my bed are made from 100% cotton, which is one of the main crops grown in Madison County, Alabama, where I currently live. The cotton used in my sheets could have, maybe come from a cotton farm down the road, or it might have been processed in the cotton gin that's next to my job. The next thing is coffee. I usually brew a pot of Folgers brand coffee in the mornings when I get ready for work. Folgers imports their coffee beans from all around the world. That is Central and South America, Africa, North America, places like, I want to say, Mexico is one of the top ones, as well as some of the, I want to say maybe Brazil. I could be wrong. Um, Their website mentions several families that grow their coffee trees, because coffee beans come from coffee trees, and that Folgers is a part of the Better Coffee Harvest Project, which basically helps lower income families produce coffee and just kind of keeps them afloat. Their website also mentions that Folgers is committed to purchasing green coffee in a responsible manner. That's a direct quote from the website. So they're part of the initiative to make sure that their coffee is harvested sustainably and that they are making kind of a green effort. So that's not contributing to more climate change. And all of the coffee beans roasted by Folgers are actually roasted in New Orleans, and they are then shipped across the country. The next thing I use in the mornings is sugar for my coffee. I use white sugar or sometimes I use brown sugar. And fun fact, white sugar and brown sugar are the exact same thing. The only difference is that white sugar has all of the molasses spun out of it, which is which makes molasses. So molasses is a byproduct of the sugar process. And sugar comes from sugar cane, which is a type of grass, I believe. The three top states that sugarcane is grown in is Florida, Texas, and Louisiana. It's also grown heavily in Hawaii and I want to say Alabama and Georgia as well, but just not as much as Florida, Texas, and Louisiana, which all have more room than Hawaii, obviously. It grows best in warm climates, so it makes sense that it grows well in these states. All right. Fourth thing I do is I usually eat some toast, or I try to before I leave, so that I don't get all like jittery and shaky from drinking coffee by itself. Me and my husband just use the Walmart Great Value brand multigrain bread. So the immediate ingredients listed on the back of the bag, and this is in the order they are like made in. So the ones closer to the beginning are the ones that are used the most, so they have the higher content. So that is whole wheat flour, water, which isn't a plant product, but it's the second most used ingredient in in bread. Enriched wheat flour, which has a few extra things in it, like wilted barley flour, and then some things like iron, riboflavin, folic acid. And then the seed mixture, that kind of like makes it a multigrain, is sunflower seeds, barley flakes, cornmeal, millet, oat flakes, rye meal, wheat bran, wheat flakes, and flaxseed. And then there's also some buckwheat flour, brown rice flour, of course, wheat gluten, brown sugar, and oat fiber. And there's still some more ingredients listed in the bag. They just were in smaller amounts, so I didn't bother including them. So just by eating one piece of toast in the morning, I've consumed products from 10 different plants because sugar cane, sunflowers, barley, corn. Cornmeal comes from corn, obviously. Millet, oat, rye, flaxseed, buckwheat, rice. Just insane how many plant products are in one piece of bread. Most of the U.S.'s wheat is actually grown in Midwestern states. The top three were North Dakota, Kansas, and Montana. So those are actually locally, well, not locally grown, but uh, we export a lot more grain than we import because we export a lot of grain to countries like China and stuff that have a high usage of grains. The final thing that I use in the morning is actually the very first and last thing that I use. It's the floor because you can't walk out the door without, stepping on the ground. Our house was built in the early 60s and it has its original hardwood flooring, so it's beat up, it's scuffed, but it's well loved. From the color and grain, I'm assuming it is oak. And from what I've found online, the South was we mainly use pine lumber. Uh, a lot of really old houses, like built in 100 something years ago, they're all pine houses because pine trees grow really well in the South. So I couldn't really find where Alabama got most of its oak lumber from. But oops, it did say that we do produce a lot of our own lumber in the U.S. We do still import some soft lumber from Canada. But yeah, majority of the things I use in the morning are, if not locally grown, at least grown in the United States. And the stuff that is imported that I use, like the coffee, I use a company that goes a bit of the extra mile to make sure that it's sustainably grown and used, which is pretty cool, I think. So thanks for watching and listening, and good luck with the other assignments, guys.